One thing the pandemic could not stop is alcohol sales. Sales in spirits of wine increased in the early months of the pandemic by as much as 20 to 40% in some states. And with restaurants, bars, and sporting venues often closed or restricted, consumers had to find new ways to get a drink. Off-premise sales of alcohol soared after March of 2020, and the trend continues. But what does that mean for Black-owned spirits companies? Are they able to cash in on this boom as well? Joining us on the Atlanta Daily World Spotlight is Toodle, VP of Sales and Southeast Regional Director for Plush Vodka. Gene, what a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Mark, having me. Really appreciate you bringing me on, giving me the opportunity to speak about Plush Vodka.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it. First of all, tell us a little bit about the backstory of Plush Vodka. It's a Black-owned spirits company, something we don't often hear Black-owned when it comes to the spirit category and business niche. Tell us a little bit about how it got started and where it was born.
Well, first of all, Plush, as you said, is Black-owned. It was started by a young man named Malcolm Hill from the Bronx, New York. Malcolm started Plush Vodka when he was 25 years old, 7 years ago. Him and his boys was just sitting around and sipping on some vodka and wasn't impressed in what the offerings had to offer at the time. So, he took it upon himself, said that he could do it. And he took a very serious commitment and made Plush happen. So here we are 7 years from that day, celebrating something that is in 15 major markets.
Yeah, that is amazing. 25 years old. I wish I had that kind of courage at 25.
Tell me about it. Me too, man. Where would we be?
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the uniqueness of it. As you said, he came up with the recipe, if you will. What makes it unique? What makes Plush Vodka unique?
Well, what makes Plush Vodka unique is that the vodka world is a very competitive one. I mean, you can walk in any of your favorite stores and there'll be 100 different types of vodka. Even just the regular vodka, you're going to have 100 different brands to choose from. So getting into that market and actually competing in that market required something a little bit more creative. And Malcolm introduced that by making the world's only plum premium vodka. If you walk the aisles, you'll see, the pineapples, and you'll see the coconuts and strawberry and grape, whatever flavor you. And even though plum is one of the most paired fruits in the world in all cultures, there was not a plum infused vodka. So he introduced that, and that's what separates us from other vodkas.
Wow. Does that mean that there's a separate or specialized distilling process that comes along with that and the formulation?
Well, with the distillation process, there's a old school way of doing things and a fairly technological way of doing things, which requires a little bit less work, but people tend to lean towards the old school way of doing things, in which, you basically add your recipe, you use charcoal filters, and you distill that process or purify the vodka. You remove the batch and clean things out and change filters, and you start over. And each cycle, that's a distillation process. With us, we make sure we do it the old school way. Some of the top brands that people are aware of use that same distillation process. And while most of them do it between 4 to 6 times, we do it 8 times. Our vodka is distilled 8 times. And it's a tedious process, but it's worth it with the end result.
Right. Let's talk a little bit now about some of the challenges you had to face as a Black-owned spirits company. Obviously, resources and financial backing are critical. But did you have to, and I know this is what happens when I talk to a lot of Black entrepreneurs, but did you have struggles with price point when you got in? Because you want to be able to compete, but you want to be able to generate revenue and get sales at the same time. So what was the price point consideration like, and what are some of the other hurdles that you faced?
Well, we had to identify some of the things that were causing us to have some struggles in the beginning. And of course, cash flow is going to be one of them, because if you grow at a rate in which you're not prepared for, then all business is not good business. Right. But with Malcolm and our executive team, we made some strategic decisions to make sure that we were getting the brand out even if we were not maximizing on profits. And we're still in that situation today. We're very grateful that we've had some partners in the way, at least in my market, where they partner with us, they emphasize the Black-owned brands, they give us opportunities and platforms to shine just by, either isolating or creating our individual platforms. One particular store is Prohibition in Smyrna, Georgia. They go out their way to establish Black-owned brands section, and people can come through and they support us, knowing that we're at a disadvantage when it comes to exposure. Another one is Camp Creek World of Beverages in the southwest region of Atlanta. They created a chocolate city in which every area of the store is a Black-owned spirits brand. And things like that just tend to help us maintain some sense of visibility in the marketplace.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your marketing philosophy right now. I know you do a lot out in the community, sponsoring events and actually getting the product in front of people. Yes. That's where I've first noticed you guys. Right. You actually out at at an event sharing the product. So you guys are just doing the hard work at this point.
We are a very committed executive team, so it's quite common for you to come out and see the owner out at a promotion inside a store or at a golf tournament signing bottles. We're very committed to it, and we don't just use ambassadors or outside people who don't believe in our brand to come in and basically image thrust the brand upon itself. We do everything from golf tournaments. We sponsored the Omega Psi Phi scholarship tournament. With me being an Omega, we have a Sigma on the executive team. We have an Alpha on the executive team. But we believe in giving back to the community. As we grow, we want to make sure that we're doing things to enhance the community in which we come from.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about your community give back and the philosophy behind that. We know that you're involved in a lot of fundraisers for scholarship money, like the golf outing that you just mentioned.
Right. Well, what we do is we donate product. In any way, we support the efforts of those, a lot of them 501c3 organizations that come to us asking that we participate, and we jump at that opportunity because it's a win-win for us. We're doing something, giving back to the community, and also we're enhancing the very brand and getting the name recognition out there. So it's a win-win for both parties. So if it makes sense, of course, you have some people calling up and saying they want us to sponsor a birthday party for 20 people. Probably not going to do that. But anytime there's a legitimate number involved, we're definitely going to take the opportunity to look at it and help if we can.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the pandemic and what it meant to you guys. And like you said, I mean, growth can be a real problem,
right?
If you're not prepared for it. How did the pandemic affect you all and your business model? Because as we mentioned in the beginning, in the intro to you, when people were stuck at home, one thing they were spending money on is alcohol and spirits. Yeah.
I got my fingers crossed. We're still testing this recession-proof industry. And I've heard that it's recession-proof, and that, but we're going to find out real soon. But yeah, you're absolutely right. During the pandemic, numbers rose, people continued to drink. And we basically reallocated our marketing dollars from doing things or considering to do things where on-premise accounts, things like bars and restaurants, to off-premise accounts where we were actually out at package stores, Total Wines and More's and the big names, the big chains across America, and doing, person-to-person introduction of our product. Of course, it took way more time, but it proved to be the right decision in the long run. So
yeah, I've been online and looked at some of the reviews. I've seen people making videos with Plush Vodka and trying new recipes. What's been the feedback that you guys are getting? It seems remarkably positive from the
Mark,
the videos that I've seen.
Yeah, when I tell you, it is a very easy introduction. I don't even like to say sale. It's a very easy introduction. You tell people about the quality of it, about the excellence associated with the branding and the marketing of it. You allow them to taste it, and right off the bat, 'cause most people are vodka drinkers at one point or another. Vodka is probably the most used spirit for cocktails, so most people are gonna taste it, and it's a taste that is it's a good vodka. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not being biased, but it's a very good very good vodka. So
no, having sampled it, it's easy to digest. It's smooth. It doesn't have that bite that some vodkas have.
Exactly.
So there's a nice easygoingness, if that's a thing about Plush.
And it allows for bartenders and cocktail specialists to get very creative. You can take a very common drink and replace it with the world's only plum infused vodka, and you have a new cocktail.
Exactly.
So prime example is everyone is drinking mules these days. You replace the spirit with plum vodka, and all of a sudden you have a new cocktail that you're free to name that tastes extremely well. So
right.
Very well received, though. We're happy to have the response that we've had so far.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you see in terms of the future for Plush Vodka? Where are you guys headed now? What are your goals for 5 years from now?
Yeah. We are looking to be very household name in the States immediately within the next 2 years. That's one of our goals. Another one of our goals is to be saturated throughout the Americas, and I'm not just talking North America. We're right now currently working on some deals that include Africa and India. We are looking to expand and get some product placements and some major movies coming along. And of course, we want people to make Plush their vodka of choice when they walk in the store.
Absolutely. And before we let you go, we'd be remiss in our duties if we didn't let you share where you could find Plush Vodka and how people can find and support you.
Oh, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this. Basically, go to your favorite, nearest, most convenient package store and ask for it. And if it's not in there, it's going to help us get in there. But we are in tons of stores in the Georgia and Florida market. We're in most big chains in any major city in the Americas. So, of course, New York, Chicago, Jersey, Delaware, Atlanta, Miami, Vegas, LA, you name it. We're going to be in most major cities. But if we are not, just ask for it, and the people will bring it in, and it'll help us out, to be quite honest. We need that.
Awesome. We love it. Gene Toodle, the Vice President of Sales and the Southeast Regional Director for Plush Vodka. Thanks so much for joining us on the Atlanta Daily World Spotlight. We certainly wish you continued success here in the Metro Atlanta area and all around the world. It sounds like you guys have your eyes set on conquering the world.
We do. So thank you very much for having me on, Mark. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us.
All righty. Have a great one.